Buenos días todo el mundo, ¿cómo están? Vamos a comenzar. Vamos a cantar buenos días después de dos. 1, 2. Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien, gracias, muy bien, gracias. ¿Y cómo te vas? ¿Cómo te vas? Buenos días, estudiantes. Espero que todo estén bien. I hope everybody is doing fantastic. Vamos a comenzar. Let's begin. Now, in our last few classes, we have been looking at las matemáticas and we have been doing la adición, meaning that we were adding in Spanish using the words y and son. Y means plus, but son means equal. Now, just to recap a little bit, let's go through los números 1 hasta 30, numbers 1 to 20 in Espanol. Bueno. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Numbers 21 to 29. Now remember, it's 20, and then you add your uno, your dos, your tres, etc. to it. So let's go. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 is 30. Muy bien. So, those are los números 1 hasta 30. Numbers 1 to 30 in Spanish. And like I said, we have been looking at las matemáticas, right? And we were doing la adición. So, we would say, por example, 10 y 15 son 25, which means 10 plus 15, which is equal to 25. What if we said 12 y 16 son 28? We're simply adding 12 plus 16 and our answer is 28. We also would add, for example, 17 y 9 son 26, which is 17 plus 9 equals 25. And we could also add 26 y 3 son 29, which is 26, plus 3, which is equal to 29. Now, we were looking at la adición, pero para hoy, for today, we're going to be looking at another mathematical operation. So I'm going to give you two situations that I want you to think about, and then I want you to pause the video, and I want you to think about the mathematical operation you think that we're going to be doing today in Espanol. So here's the first one. Think about it. Remember, so escuchen. Your mother asks you to purchase a toy on Amazon.com or at the shop or the store, and she gives you it actually costs $20. So it costs $20, but your mother gives you $30 and asks you to take home her change. So your mom gives you $30, but the item costs $20 and she tells you to take home her change. How do we find out how much change is left? Or what mathematical operation would we use to find out how much change is left? Also, I want you to figure out and tell me how much change is left. Now you can pause the video and think about that one. And I'll go to the second one. Now, daddy gives you $15 and tells you to buy a twist for your snack at school. The twist costs $10. Now, how do you find out how much change is left, and you're going to tell me also how much change you should take home. So, daddy gives you $15, the twist costs $10. You should tell me how much change you should take home, and how do you find out how much change you should take home, all right? So, pause the video, think about it, and then vamos a continuar. We're going to continue. All right, so if you figured it out, today we're going to be looking at what we call la resta. La resta. And la resta means subtraction. Now, what is Senorita talking about? Subtraction, this big word subtraction. You all know what subtraction is. It's a mathematical operation that uses this symbol, like the dash, the minus sign. So, we're going to be doing la resta, which is subtraction in Espanol. Now, subtraction is actually a mathematical operation that is symbolized by this item right here, the dash, right? We use it to calculate the difference of two numbers or quantities, or we use subtraction to tell us how much of something is left after we've taken some out. So we also know that some numbers are greater than some numbers are smaller than some. So when we subtract, we're taking the smaller number from the bigger number. We're taking the lesser number from the greater number. Now, some terms that we might hear when we're subtracting in English are take away, minus, find the difference. But in Spanish, we're going to be using this word, which is menos. The word is menos. So it's very close to minus. So I mean, guys, come on, you can't mix it up. So it's menos, and in English we would say minus. So in Spanish we say menos. We say menos. Muy bien. So we're going to use the word menos when we're doing subtraction today. Last week we were using y to add, but today we're using menos to subtract. So that's basically the major difference for today's class. Instead of adding, we're subtracting, and we're still using los números 1 hasta 30, numbers 1 to 30. Bueno? So, I want to show you some ejemplos. But first, say for instance, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 marcadores. I have 8 markers, 8 markers. And I was told to take 2 markers from the pack. So, I take 2. Good. How do I find out how much is left? If they say 8 minus 2, I have to have my 8 here, and I take my 2 markers out of it. I'm going to count how much is left after I've taken 2 out. So after I've taken 2 out, I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So subtraction, like I said, is taking the smaller number or the lesser number out of the bigger number or the greater number, okay? So I had 8. I took 2 from it, and then I counted how many were left, and that gave me my answer. So let's look at some examples, some ejemplos en español. Now you have to remember your numbers 1 to 30 in Spanish, los números 1 hasta 30 en español, in order to do these properly. So I hope you have been practicing your numbers and completing your worksheets. I realize that some persons have been completing them. Muy bien, muy bien, muy bien. So, vámonos. So, or ejemplos para hoy, or examples for today. The first one says, 23 menos 10 son 13. 23 is 23. Menos means minus, and 10 means 10. Remember, son means equal, and then 13 means 13. So 23 menos 10 son 13 means 23 minus 10 equals 13. So you have 23 things. You take 10 out of it, you're left with only 13. Now the next ejemplo, the next example, 25 menos 5 son 20, which is 25. 25 is 25, menos is minus, 5 is 5, son is equal, and 20 is 20. Next one, 22, which is 22, menos, minus, 11, 11, son, equal, 11, 11. So it's 22 menos 11 son 11, which is 22 things, and you take 11 from it, that leaves you with 11. Bien. Y la última, the last one, is 28, which is 28, menos, which is minus, 21, which is 21, son, which is equal, 7, which is 7. This means 28 menos 21 son 7. The same as 28 minus 21 equals 7. So you're basically just translating what you have in English in Spanish, but you have to know the numbers in Spanish, and you have to remember that menos means to subtract, but y means to add or plus. So y is to add, while menos means subtract, and remember son means equal. And we're using los números 1 hasta 30, numbers 1 to 30. All right, let me give you dos ejemplos más, 2 more examples. If I should say 30 menos 10 son 20. What am I trying to tell you? 30. 30 is 30. Then I said menos, which is minus. And the next number I gave you was 20, which is 20. So I'm saying 30 minus 20. I have 30 things and I take 20 out of it. If I take all 20 things, which is all these numbers, out of the 30, I am left with 10, which is 10. 30 menos 20 son 10. 30 minus 20 gives us 10. And I'll give you another example using my marcadores. Now this time I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 and the problem is 6 menos 3 son. Let's see if we can figure out the answer. 6 menos 3 son. So 6, we have 6. Then it says minus. That means we're going to take some out of it. Then it says 3. 3 is what number? 3. That means we're taking out how many? 1, 2, 3. So it's 6 and we're taking away 3. Son means equal. So how much is left after we take the 3 marcadores out of it? We're left with 3. 1, 2, 3. So 6 menos 3 son 3. See? Muy fácil. Very, very easy. Now, there are some examples at the bottom of page 29 in your workbooks. You're going to use those to assist you as you go along with these activities. And then as soon as you're finished going through those examples, you'll be doing the activity at the bottom of page 29. So the examples are at the top of page 29, los ejemplos. Y la actividad, the activity is on page 29, page 29. And the second activity is on page página 30, page 30. So page 29 in your workbooks and page 30. Examples at the top of page 29, the first activity on the bottom of page 29, and then there's another activity on page 30 that you'll be completing for me. Now, for page 29, the activity on page 29, all you have to do is to fill in the missing words in the Spanish mathematical problems to make the statements true. Okay? So look at what word is missing. If it's the numbers, you write them in Spanish. If it's the symbols, you write them in Spanish on the line that's provided, okay? And then for the activity on página 30, on page 30, you're going to be rewriting the subtraction problems in Spanish. So you're given some numbers, just like we did over here earlier. You're given some numbers like these, but they're smaller numbers. And then you're going to write them over in Spanish like we did here, using los números 1 hasta 30. Now, I hope everybody understood what we're doing today and that you'll be able to complete your activities, and we'll go through them when we meet on Friday, which is on Viernes. So for now, we're going to sing adios, 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 adios. Adios, 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 adios. Adios, estudiantes.